What's up guys, my name is PT Philip. My goal is to help you enhance your performance, whatever that performance might be. Today I'm going to teach you what is tapering and how can you achieve your full potential with this little protocol. So let's dive in. Alright guys, so before we start, let me tell you a little story about Emil Zatapek. He was a Czech distance runner. And this guy, this gentleman, he was crazy. I won't talk a lot about his success. He won 5 Olympic gold medals, that's enough said. But this guy trained with highest intensity possible. He didn't believe in slowing down. He was always going for more distance, for better speed. And this guy was crazy, absolutely crazy when it came to training. But in 1950, before the European competition, he got ill. He got so ill that he ended up in a hospital, and he was hospitalized for 2 weeks. And 2 days before the competition, he was released by the doctor. And his doctor told him, don't do the competition. Guess what Emil did? Well, he went over there and he competed. And not only that, he won every single race. And not only that, but he set up a new world record for every race. What happened? The Zatapek effect happened. What the hell is Zatapek effect? Well, the science call it tapering, I call it forced rest. So, what is tapering? Well, training itself produces stress to our bodies. It's a negative experience if you look at it. It produces muscle damage, muscle soreness, high cortisol levels, dehydration, glycogen depletion. All of those things have to come back to their normal standards when you recover and when you rest. When you recover and rest, you can achieve your full potential. But what most of the times happen is that athletes, they never achieve that full recovery. As we all know, the basic principle of training is overload progression. Overload progression is basically a philosophy that you overload yourself, you get tired, and then you recover and you are better than you were before, and then you repeat that process until you reach your goal. All right? So that is the basic principle of overload progression, basic principle of training. What happens is, to so many athletes, is they never reach that full overload progression. They never reach their full potential. And why is that? Well, that is because they never did a tapering protocol. To put it simply, tapering is basically forcing your body to rest and recover. How long can a taper period last? Anywhere from 3 days to 3 weeks. But how can you implement tapering in your training? Well, there are 3 ways that you can implement tapering. The first way is a linear taper. The linear taper is when you gradually lower the volume of your training. Alright, so during a certain period of time, you are gradually lowering down the volume. The opposite to a linear taper is a step taper. A step taper is usually done in a way that you cut your volume down by 50% and you keep it over there at 50%. And then the last taper that we got is gonna be the step taper. And this one is probably the most optimal one and the easiest one to implement. So this is the combination of first 2 tapers. So you are lowering down over a certain period of time, you are lowering down your volume by a little bit, all right, until you get to around 50% of that initial volume that you did. What you are keeping is intensity and frequency of training, but you are lowering down the volume. One thing to have in mind is the caloric intake. So when you do a tapering period, you are doing less work, obviously. That means that you are burning less calories. If you burn less calories and you keep eating the same amount of food, that can have impact on your weight and on your lean muscle mass and obviously on your fat, body fat percentage. So I want you to be very cautious about eating when doing the tapering period. Most of the athletes are afraid to implement this tapering period because in this case, doing less is actually doing more. And as I told you before, many athletes never actually reach their full potential because they simply don't put enough time, focus and energy into giving their bodies time to rest and fully achieve their potential. So if you want to do a tapering period, don't worry, you won't decrease your form, you will do exactly the opposite thing, you will increase your form. That's the Zatapek effect. When it comes to your sport, it really depends if you are training for a specific race, for a specific event, for a specific game. Obviously, if you have a season of games, then it won't be that easy to peak at just one game. But if you know this concept, then you can play around with it and you can find your best form when you need it. Basically, guys, that wraps up this video. Hopefully it was helpful, and please let me know down in the comments, have you tried tapering and what were your results? I can tell you from my own experience that rest really gave my body the ability to perform at the maximum. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you at the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.